Right, guys. So today I wanted to do a presentation on why you need to stop revising. Okay, maybe not quite this harsh, but the idea is that when you're approaching these sort of deadlines, or even if you're not, even if you're in a run up to an exam, maybe in the summer, and you're approaching some mocks, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know this topic that well, I don't know that topic that well, or I need to go over that topic. Stop wasting your time. You're probably feeling stressed because you feel like, especially this happens with subject knowledge based questions, right? Where like economics or history, where you need to know a lot of stuff. You're probably feeling stressed. Oh, I don't know about the Middle East crisis, or I don't know about the Israel-Palestine conflict that well, and so that's eating you up. You're also probably wasting time on YouTube trying to find the most efficient revision techniques from Ali Abdal and all these sorts of people, when in reality the time for doing that was a long time before, and you need to actually learn how to manage your time in an exam. You're probably spending hours on a question that you find in an exam because you haven't actually practiced the technique of the muscle of how to manage my time and how to think quickly through problems. So you're probably spending hours on essay questions, getting all your beautiful knowledge in when you don't have the time in an exam, and you actually have to prioritize. You have to learn what sort of chains of analysis. I'm giving the example of economics here, but yeah, you don't know what chains of analysis to prioritize. So instead, I recommend you start solving problems um, in the sense of revision, which is just do loads of past paper questions, right? So go on to physics and maths tutor and do all the past papers. Now, people say, oh, if I burn through them too early, then I can't use them ever again. Well, actually, you can. You're not that good at memorizing things as you think, because when you do a paper, let's say you've done from 17 to 21, 2017 2021. When you're done with 2021, it's probably been, if you spaced your revision properly, it's probably been about 4 or 5 weeks. If you circle back to paper one, you're going to forget most of the questions. And even if you do remember them, you won't be able to remember the answer you gave. So there really is no question of a lack of problems. And if there is, I'm actually building a tool. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically a tool which has been fed a bunch of past paper questions, and it's going to be an infinite question generator for you guys. So the idea is you just press generate, and you just press the type of question you want. So for economics, which is what I'm starting with, you could pick, right, I want a 6 marker on globalization, and you type that in, and it outputs you a mock Excel question that you've never seen before, no one's ever seen before because it's AI generated. That's my goal, because I understand this, right? Having done exams, the highest leverage activity I ever did was just solving problems, and you do face the issue that there aren't that many. So, what are some of the benefits, and why should you be starting solving problems even when you think you haven't revised everything? Well, actually, you've learned a lot more than you think. So you might think that your topic knowledge is relatively weak in some areas, but you don't know until you've tried it. Oftentimes, you don't need if it's getting, especially if it's crunch time, you don't need a stellar knowledge of the subject material. You just need enough to be able to fill your answers with enough detail. And here's the last 2 points is something that my teacher used to say all the time, is they used to have these sort of content buffs, right, at school, in economics specifically, or even, this applies to any sort of that require any sort of subject that requires a lot of reading. History would be one. You can have these history buffs who know everything about everything. They know all the dates, everything, what happened, and who did what. But if they haven't practiced, if they haven't trained the muscle of time management, and they don't know how to organize their thoughts quickly and efficiently to get top marks, well, there's no point in knowing everything. Because when you receive, and this is unfortunately the way the system works, when you receive your 6 or 7 when you wanted a 9, no one's going to remember, oh, but he knew a lot about the Middle East crisis. No, they're just going to see the grade. And if that's something you want to do at A level, if that subject is something you want to do at A level, then you really got to consider, like, okay, I got to get some good marks here, because A level is only going to get worse. There's no point in me learning all this knowledge if I can't put it down on paper. So it's a quick video today. Hopefully it's just a kick up the backside for some of you who are maybe putting this on the background while you're highlighting some some notes, start solving some goddamn problems, whether it's maths, physics, economics. I mean, this applies particularly to maths and sciences because there's an abundance of questions in those fields. But even you guys who are doing essay-based subjects, like you can get tied up in the content, but remember to solve problems. Remember to do the 50 markers for you guys doing A level. Remember to do the 25 markers because that's what you're going to do in the exam. I can't tell you how useful it was. The number of timed questions I would do. I would even make my own problems up. Okay, remember this is before ChatGPT, right? I would make my own 25 markers up. I'd make my own 50 markers up, and I'd just write them out, and I'd just do them. Like even if there wasn't a mark scheme, I just wanted to practice the muscles. And you really, you should be able to study enough mark schemes to know what you should be looking out for, right? I knew what I had to look out for. I knew how much I should be writing. I knew what the structure was, and I just practiced the muscle of getting everything I needed to get down within the time that was allocated during the exam. By far, that was the best thing I ever did for my exams, right? Speaking from personal experience and other guys who I'm helping right now. Okay. So, yeah, every week do a paper. When you're revising, when you're maybe going over content, intersperse with high frequency, solving questions within time. Don't just give yourself infinite time to do a question. If you can't do it within the time, then that's a signal for you to revise that content a little bit better. But it should be a feedback loop, right? You shouldn't just be, a highlighting geek. You need to be putting knowledge into your brain and then testing it by doing questions, right? But this is something that people just don't do enough of. And, there's been plenty of Harvard studies to suggest, especially, this also applies to you guys who are maybe wanting to get into top unis and sit their admissions tests. The only way you get better at them is just by doing those problems again and again and again and again. Not just doing one a week, but doing multiple a week. Finding questions on the internet, finding YouTube videos where they're doing questions, pausing it and doing the questions. It's all about accumulating volume in solving the problems so that when you get into the exam, it's like almost second nature to you, right? Bit of a long ramble today for 2 slides, but my main message is stop revising, start doing questions. All right. Best luck for you guys doing exams next week. I wish you all the best and bye bye.